Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Once again we are here with a lesson based on planning, and we will see what are the key ingredients to make or decide what to plan or how to plan. So when we want to plan in a position, we take the positional factors into account like well placed pieces, good bishop, good knight, an outpost. Consideration is given to the central pawn structure, open files, and so on. So in this position we will see various factors coming into play: good bishop, bad bishop, open file, outpost, so many of them. Let's have a look at this position. This is the one with black to play. White's last move has been a3, stopping the move b4. It's a typical Sicilian position where we see the white's move g4 to expand on the king side has gone wrong, and he is doomed with a bad bishop on f3. So does black's bishop on e7, which looks bad, right? But we'll see the difference in the status of both these bishops. Since the center is closed, you can see pawns are blocked here. The king in the center is not a big problem for black at the moment. Typical Sicilian plan, black is putting pressure on this e4 point, and so black immediately plays the move qb7. This is a typical case of Sicilian. See, the rook is freed open over here, and we are going to see what's going to happen on this square d5. White looks very strongly placed for occupying this d5 square, but see, black is also having enough presence with his bishop and knight. Timely he will capture on d5. Let's say instantly white tries to play nd5. Generally black will take bd5, ed, and improve this knight. See, knight has two splendid places, one on c4 and other on c5. So the move nd7 here will do wonders. It will also free this bishop diagonal to h4. White avoided the move nd5, but he cannot do that for very long. Let's see what happened. White went qd3. He simply supports e4 with enough resources. Now black makes the excellent plan in this position. He sees that these three pieces are already optimally placed. They cannot go even further. Castling instantly will allow white to go h4, and then g5 will be very good. White is looking for this. So he realized the piece which is not good is the bishop, for which many suggest the move bd8, bb6, which is also a decent plan, but here d6 is weak. So instantly he can't move this bishop. So that is the reason he looks at this knight and thinks, what can this knight do? So he sees that there is an outpost on c4, square on an open file, which is supported by a pawn. Is called an outpost. From c4, this knight will either important squares a3, b2, d2, and e3. So the move comes is nd7. Terrific move. The knight first shows that it wants to come to c5, okay, when black wants to use the bishop pair, but equally he is interested in knight b6, knight c4. So white immediately tries to stop c5 and c5 by b4. See, once again nd5 will be met by takes, and here either nc5 or the stunning move bg5, which kind of position we had in the game. Once this bishop is gone from e3, the knight will settle on c5. Do note that after knight c5, bc5, rook c5 also, it is black who is clearly better. See, in spite of the opposite bishops here, this bishop will land on g5 and then f4, and after the break h5, it is very well said that with opposite colored bishops, the attacking side has an extra piece. You can see this menacing bishop on f4, okay, but still keeping the knight would be a better option as compared to this plan. White went b4 to stop nc5, and black here played nb6. The knight is jumping to c4 instantly. Maybe white should have played bishop b6, but see, after bb6, qb6, people are simply scared of this bishop pair, this bishop which can become very active. Right now the bishop can't move because of d6, but then black can just move away bb7 and try to pressurize instantly on the c file. but still I think maybe it was a better option. After nd5, yet again there is takes, and this time the knight jumps to a4. There are multiple threats. You can see rook is heading to c3 and knight b2 is a very dangerous fork. So this is already game over. Perhaps after bc1 there will be rook c3. So bc1 directly protecting a3. Knight c4, the knight improves itself. Knight d5. See, white cannot wait any longer. There are no useful moves. He is running out of good moves. So he plays knight to d5. Wants to take knight into e7, and see, queen will attack d6 at some point. Right now still this knight is very strong. Black goes bd5. If queen d5 and rook takes d5, then see, it looks like black has given up the outpost on d5. But see the tactical point. I always said in all my 3 lessons that masters use small tactical variations to justify their positional play. See, here comes nb6, double attack. The rook is attacked, and see, the rook attacks c2. So only move rook d2. Now see, bg5, once again attacking the rook. Rook moves away, takes, and see, the rook enters c3. The rook dominates the board here. See, bishop f3 is attacked, a3 is attacked. Black simply has a plan of going ke7 followed by rook h c8. Both rooks are becoming very strong. Clearly better position for black. Almost winning, we can say, at higher level. So ed5 was played, and here black once again uses the power of his knight, for which what he sees here is this bishop as a defender of the points e3, d2 and b2. So comes the move bg5. See, great move. Weaker players think that we are trading a good piece for a bad one, but as the rule says, what remains on the board is more important than what goes out of the board. So after the trades, now you are seeing e3 is weak. Now queen b6 check is threatened followed by fork. So white is in trouble here. So he covers the e3 square with rook, and then queen e7. Good move. Before taking on c1, black ensures that white doesn't get the break. f6 followed by queen f5. Stopping opponent's counter play is very important aspect of plan. So queen e7, be4. This bishop can go to d3 sooner and attack the knight on c4. So bishop takes c1, rook c1, and what would you do as black here? Black sees that it's an ideal situation to switch plans. Instead of going for an endgame with rook c7, castle, and this rook coming to fc8, he saw that there is a chance to exploit this king placing. So he goes with h5. Very strong move. So queen e7 basically also stopped the move g5. So now comes queen g3, hg, queen g4, g7 is attacked. So queen f6. In such positions also it's very easy to go wrong. If king f8 protecting g7, then f6 loses on the spot. See, everything hangs. g7 is attacked, e7 is attacked, and the queen attacks c8. White would win on the spot. So queen f6, good move. bd3 challenges the knight. Now comes rook h4. Black's position is almost winning. Queen goes away to g3, and now comes another good move, nb6. Many would go for na3, but after rook a1, nc2, bc2, rc2, rook a6, white gets unnecessary play from the a file. So black uses the principle of do not hurry. He simply plays nb6, attacks the pawn on d5, and see, he is ready to switch this rook to the king side if possible. Let's see. Rook e4. Immediately white tries to trade the rook. Rook h5. Now the threat is rook g5. So rook g4 stops rook g5, attacks g7, and here black goes in for the kill. Not fearing rook g7, he plays nd5, rook g7, and see, in these cases precise calculation is required, and the winning move knight f4. All he had to ensure that this black king, pawn king, will be safe on the b7 square. See, after rg8, kd7 takes, queen g8 check, the winning move is kb7. See, because after be4 there is d5 and black wins. Of course, here kc7 misses out the thing because queen a8, and suddenly see there is no mate on g2. Queen guards that, so queen g5 will not mate, and white threatens to draw with queen a7. That is why precise calculation is necessary. kb7, king h1 forced, and here black to play and win. Black once again sees the weakness of black squares, c1 and h2. So queen h6. It's like a double attack already. So nd3 is threatened. Queen is eyeing the c1 rook and h2 pawn. So only move qg1. If queen f7 check, kb6, and it's game over. Queen d7, then rook check, kg1, rook g2. Fastest one, king f1 and queen h1 mates. So white went queen g1 here, and now black finishes the game. Try to calculate its black to play and win. Black plays nd3, cd3, and I hope you must have seen rook h2. The king and pawn end game is winning now after queen h2, queen c1 check. What white does, it's lost. If kg2, then queen check, king moves, takes, and the king enters the d4 square very quickly. So queen check, qg1, and here white resigned after takes. kc6 is coming, kf2, kd5, ke3, and black wastes the move with f6, forcing white king to go away. ke2, kd4, kd2. White manages the opposition, but after e4 takes, the d pawn should decide the game. Also there is king f5. So white's decision to resign after the check here was correct. So we saw how to improve the piece placings and how to fit our calculation along with the plan. This is what masters do very well. I hope you are finding these lessons useful and instructive. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.